What's up, manga fans? This is Raphael from C Manga, and welcome back to another review of the Breaker New Ways. This week's chapter 169. So it was a very enjoyable chapter this week. As I said, it's starting to build the hype more and more. Although it was actually quite frustrating the way the chapter began. You guys should know last week Chun-Woo was starting to remember Shi-Woon and regaining a bit more of these memories, and this chapter was more or less a tease that those memories were pushed aside and he was distracted from them. So for the time being, he hasn't fully remembered who he is, because he was actually trying to say, who is that? But he started getting, those headaches again, and then obviously Jang-Chan come along to be his guide, and then we have his other underlings saying we have to focus on the mission. So he's obviously completely, disregarded it for now, pushed it at the back of his mind. So now we're like, oh come on, he was nearly remembering, and now he's forgotten. So yeah, interestingly, yes, Jang-Chan is allowed to lead him now. We saw he was happy about it, but we see flashbacks of him and Jae-Gal discussing Shi-Woon's current situation, that he's still alive. Jang-Chan was obviously upset about it, saying how can he still be alive, blah blah blah, and Jae-Gal said that he'll handle it personally. And Jang-Chan thought, oh, isn't it a bit too much to handle a brat like for you to go? And Jae-Gal basically says that Shi-Woon always has a natural disaster hanging around him, and Jang-Chan realized he must be talking about Elder Kon. So yeah, Jae-Gal himself is definitely going to be needed to go there. So we see Jae-Gal appears in front of Shi-Woon's group, basically dressed up in, he's disguise that he used to wear quite a lot, with the mask, cane and hat. And his voice is distorted, which was making me laugh because it was kind of in shaky bubbles. So I'm guessing it was really silly voice acting from him. And yeah, he pretends to basically be their guide. He's bluffing and pretending, to guide them on the way. But Shi-Woon straight away isn't having any of this. He's like, don't make me laugh. He's like, who do you think you are, trying to trick us? It's like, you're just gonna come here and be our guide. It's like, I'm not falling for that. And what was it? Jae-Gal basically said that I have many secrets I like to keep concealed. So Shi-Woon's like, okay, then fine. It's like, we'll talk properly. And then he's basically like, Elder Kon, remove his mask. I just laugh how he just basically, it wasn't not so much as a command, but like he's asked him, and Elder Kon straight away like, yep, and he goes and attacks him. And Jong-Le was very confused about this, because he's seen obviously Jae-Gal before, and he's must not really know who he is. And now he's thinking maybe Shi-Woon's going over the top, but Shi-Woon says, can't you sense that? And in the forest we see lots of SUC members basically hiding all over the mountains. So Shi-Woon's already sensed this murderous aura and intent before obviously they've actually arrived at SUC, and he's basically telling Jong-Le, this is just a trap. This is just to keep us held on this spot for now, so we can't believe what's this guy. And just as you might as well say Jae-Gal and Elder Kon finish fighting, Shi-Woon's like, oh, you can speak now let's hear what you've got to say. And Jae-Gal realizes that the bottom of his mask has been removed, so he's obviously accidentally spoken and revealed his voice. And straight away Shi-Woon, as smart as he is, noticed, you're the person I spoke to on the phone before. And he's realized obviously what he was trying to do. He's trying to hide and stall for time. So he's like, okay, so it's you. And what made the situation more worse for Jae-Gal, that his cover was fully blown when the police chief in the car started shouting, boss, come and free me, what was it, undo my pressure points, they've sealed me and I can't escape. And then Jae-Gal completely trying to ignore him. He's like, and then furthermore, the police chief said, you can't leave me like this. What will the Chong-Du-Mong say if you leave me like this? And that's pretty much blown his cover completely. Elder Kon, Shi-Woon and Jong-Le have heard that he's the police chief's boss, which they heard about from before, and that he has ties with the Chong-Du-Mong, which has obviously secret slight ties to the SUC. So they fully realize, obviously this person is trouble, he's danger. and the police chief is completely, might as well say, shot himself in the foot by doing this, because Jae-Gal basically says, "Oh yes, of course, I'll come and help you," and then he goes over to him, he says, "Haven't I told you before, I hate people with loud mouths," and he uses his cane to completely slice the car and the police chief in half. We even see the split going down his face. Kind of reminded me of, that episode of Dragon Ball Z when Trunks sliced Frieza, and then it was like you see this line, then it splits. It was, I could imagine what that would look like animated. I'd really love to see that. But yeah, so Jae-Gal's completely killed the police chief. I had a feeling he was gonna die at one point, but I didn't know how or when. But I guess it makes sense for Jae-Gal to do it himself, because that's how despicable they are. They don't have any loyalties or anything. It's like he's obviously blown it. He was just being used. He was a pawn, so he's like, I don't need you anymore. Slices him in half. So yeah, that was interesting to see. We haven't seen gore like that in the Breaker for quite a while, so it was good to see that. And yeah, so then the chapter ends with Jae-Gal basically revealing that technique, something that was hidden. Even Shi-Woon was a bit shocked by that, and Elder Kwon says yes, it's something he's been hiding. So Jae-Gal further goes on to mock Shi-Woon, saying, what was it? What was you gonna do to me now? So it's like, are you gonna carry on with your threat that you mentioned on the phone? So he's basically saying that let's see you try and fight me now, and follow on the threat you made on the phone, because Shi-Woon did threaten to eliminate him, destroy him. So Jae-Gal's obviously all smug, saying, look what I just did to this car and this person, now I'm gonna do the same to you, let's see what you can do. So yeah, as I said, that was a good chapter. It's building up the hype. The only questions it's leaving me with is who's going to actually fight Jae-Gal. Will it be Shi-Woon to fight him and prove his strength? Or is the author going to show more of his strength? Or is it going to be Elder Kwon? Because I've noticed that there seems to be quite a few rematches, or I wouldn't say a few rematches, but there's been some rematches, like Jae-Il was fighting against Kwon Young last chapter. That was a rematch, so maybe it'll be Elder Kwon versus Jae-Gal, something we saw, I think it was in the chapters 60s or something like that. They fought and it was interrupted because Jae-Gal fled away. So maybe that will be another rematch that will be finished, and I could imagine maybe Shi-Woon and Jong-Il will obviously have a chance to go ahead, and then maybe they'll be fighting the SUC on the way there, something like that. And then hopefully Chun-Woo will start to remember more of his memories and they won't get distracted or interrupted this time. But as I said, yeah, very interesting chapter, the way it's building up the hype. I love that part when Jae-Gal sliced the car in two. That was gory but brilliant. Definitely a throwback to part 1 of the Breaker, because there was a lot of gore in that compared to New Ways. And as I said, yeah, I'm just loving the dialogue. Shi-Woon is a complete man in my eyes. This guy is so mature. Even the way he's drawn looks more mature, and the way he's just handling anything. He's not falling for anything. He's not no bluffs are going tricking him. He's just a man on a mission. He needs to get to his master and deal and basically settle things. And as I said, I can't wait to see what's gonna happen when he finally reaches there. So yeah, that's more or less the chapter in a nutshell. I enjoyed it. What do you guys think? Did you enjoy the chapter? Have you got any predictions, opinions, anything all you want to say about this one and what to expect in the next one? And also, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more content, and I'll speak to you guys next time.